Yo, my name is Six and welcome back to your weekly bite of MMORPG news. We have a lot to talk about today. More drama concerning Ashes of Creation, Pax Dei's future, official revenue, and a release window globally for Aion 2, brand new MMORPGs, and a complete overhaul of Sword of Justice that might just make it a competitor to Where Winds Meet. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. First, let's go ahead here and go over the massive Sword of Justice Season 4.0 update. This is a graphical overhaul and a complete combat overhaul as well. I mean, I'm sure y'all remember what Sword of Justice looks like. It released a couple months ago. I liked the game. I thought it was actually a solid mobile MMO, but I didn't think it was really that great as a PC MMO. The dungeons were great, the story was great, the mechanics were actually very fun, but this version of the game, these graphical overhauls look insane. Like, you could just look at it and it looks and feels like an entirely different game. They have entire model changes, retextures for characters, deeper character customization. Like, this looks insane. Look how good this looks. The overhauls are incredible. But it's not just, oh my god. Wow. Okay. But it's not just the character models as well. Like, they look phenomenal, but it's also the combat. I know the combat was actually a point of contention for players, especially when compared to Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet was very fast, very fluid, very action-based, but Sword of Justice was very auto, and the UI was very mobile-esque. Now, this game, as you could tell, has a completely redone UI. This is clean. I mean, it looks like you actually have indentations in the snow when you're fighting. That's probably the same in the sand as well. It has perfect dodges, parries, counters, everything. Like, this honestly is the game that Sword of Justice should have been when Sword of Justice was released. And I mean, like, it just showed there the old UI with the new gameplay and then the new UI, which is a complete change. It makes the game feel so much better. I mean, if you've been putting off playing Sword of Justice and the game manages to survive globally until this version hits, I mean, maybe we'll get this earlier for global. I don't know. We are in desperate need of it. But if this released like this, it would have been so much more popular than it ultimately is. A brand new MMORPG, and I've covered this in the past, Epitome, was fully funded in 48 hours. Almost $500,000 was raised within 44 hours. When you navigate on over to the official Kickstarter, you'll see that with 7 days to go, it's already made over $600,000. And it looks like people are already calling it the next Ashes of Creation. They're saying it's a scam, it's a money laundering effort. Honestly, it sucks for the game because it's thanks to Ashes of Creation, every upcoming crowdfunded MMO is going to be labeled a scam. And you know what? Until a crowdfunded MMO is successfully released in a quality state, then I'm actually okay with that. Whether or not this game is a scam or not remains to be seen, but I guess we'll know soon enough. Aion 2 had official revenue stats posted for it, and I don't really care about that. I really don't know what is good for an MMO in terms of revenue, but what did interest me is that it was confirmed that Aion is targeting a global launch between September and October of this year, likely closer to September. That's very surprising. I was expecting it to launch earlier in 2026, but I will take a September or October if that means the game is going to be more polished. However, from what I've read on social media, the game is going to be a one-to-one carbon copy of the Korean version, which is egregiously pay to win, and that just already is a deterrent for not only me, but also for a lot of players. Pax Dei released a dev letter where they went on to confirm and elaborate on the future of the game. Are you going to shut down as other studios have recently? That's a big question right out the gate. That is a bold statement. No, we still have a small but very passionate, hardworking team working on Pax Dei. We intend to continue delivering updates regularly. They've had rough moments. They're an independent studio, which means they rely on a mix of external investment and increasingly revenue from the game itself to pay for ongoing development of the game. They have had to adjust their team size and limit their scope accordingly, which honestly is never a good thing. That means less people working on the game at a reduced capacity. They're working on implementing new features that players have been asking for, and they have somewhat of a roadmap planned for the future. Honestly, this is not a scam. From what I can tell, this does not seem like a scam, and I do have some form of faith for the game. I don't know when it's ultimately going to release, but you know what? At the end of the day, as long as it releases in a decent state, that's all that matters. It's all we can theoretically ask for these days. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Chrono Odyssey has officially been delayed again. For what time is this? The fourth time? The fifth time? ArcheAge Chronicle is now slated to launch in the fourth quarter of 2026 until it doesn't, and it gets delayed again. Chrono Odyssey is slated to release in the first quarter of 2027 now. Whether that remains to be seen is up for debate. Either way, I'm excited to get to play both these games. Neither of them are listed as MMORPGs anymore. They're actually now listed as online action RPGs. But what they are doing, they are creating apparently, is Odin Q. Odin Q is an in-house developed and published MMORPG launching in Korea and Taiwan on mobile and PC. I'm assuming Odin Q here is probably a variant of Odin Valhalla Rising that is eventually going to come out globally. They also apparently have Project OQ, which they are publishing, not developing, that is also an MMORPG coming out in Korea exclusively right now for mobile and for PC. This is all of the MMORPGs in development or being published by Kakao. And again, ArcheAge 2 and Chrono Odyssey are no longer listed as MMOs, interestingly enough. But I mean, why would you want to associate yourself with the genre now anyway, when online action RPGs are so much better received than MMOs are? Steven Sharif and the entire Ashes of Creation debacle has been just an absolute cluster of anger, frustration from the community, disappointment, everything you could imagine. And so much has happened. Apparently, Steven Sharif finally, after all this time, broke his silence. And he claims that he's not at fault. From what was spread around social media, he is actually taking legal action, filing a lawsuit against members of Intrepid's board, who he repeatedly stated did not exist, and a company, TFE Game Holdings, claiming that they orchestrated an unlawful takeover of the studio and its assets. I mean, you can't make this up. It is unbelievable. One of the investors, Jason Cameronis, and others allege that the project accumulated debts estimated between $100 to $140 million, and also went on to claim that Steven himself failed to invest his own money into the game despite public statements suggesting otherwise, which means that every moment he talked up how much money he poured into the game was a blatant and absolute lie. There are so many videos discussing this in extensive, elaborate detail. I strongly urge you to go ahead and check all of this out because it is unbelievable. $140 million fraud. This is one of the biggest scams I have ever seen, and arguably the biggest scam in the MMO genre, and perhaps even gaming overall, at least in recent years. Now, that is everything that I've been keeping up to date with over the course of the last week. Y'all are now up to date. If you want to stay up to date, though, with more MMORPG news and information, you should go ahead and follow either me or Mrs. Sticks, my wife, over on Twitter. She posts more than I do there with regards to MMOs, but we collectively will keep you all apprised of everything going on. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. stay flaccid.